Obviously worked right with the mic. Obviously worked right with the mic. Obviously worked right with the mic. Sound check one more time. Okay, we're good to go. Okay, so I call the health board meeting to order. And with that, we'll do the flag salute. Who'd like to lead?
I'll lead it.
Okay.
Ready? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Awesome.
Oh,
I love it.
here. Here.
Here.
Okay, next is public comments. This is an opportunity for any member of the public, and this includes those on Zoom, to address the board on any matter related to the commission that is not listed for tonight's agenda. Anybody that would like to get up and speak? Here we got one. Are we waiting for somebody else?
And over, sorry to the old building.
It's a great pleasure to be here tonight. I have some new information for the healthcare board and also the city of Selma. For 2 years, I've been working on this project for a long time, and I have stakeholders involved in this issue. It's in the last 2 years before the pandemic. When the pandemic hit, we knew the situation in all local governments and cities. We had an issue with the homeless issue that required some medical status, help and everything. Today, I have good news. We finally, in the state of California, I've been working with this project for a while, and it's been approved by the state and funded by the state of California. is to help the mental health issues in the streets of all streets in our valley. It becoming, this facility becoming the Selma, it's been actually approved by the state and funded by the state. You're gonna be very happy. The good thing about it is these people that are gonna come to the city of Selma, they're not mass murderers. They're not the killers on the street. These are individuals that will be need psychological help and anxiety attacks, stuff like this, and some issues, 2-year program. And once the program is almost ending, the county will step up, either Proteus or the county assistance program will help these people get back on their feet if they don't have a job or whatever. Okay. All I can tell you that this company is big, and it's you're going to be very happy. It's going to take care of the mental issues on the streets of on a valley here. Okay. Any questions?
Yeah, I do. Where are they gonna get a facility or
It's already, we already have the facility inside already.
and where is that located?
It's going to be, actually, it's going to be located in the Selma Plaza.
Okay.
The old county building.
Okay.
It'd be total renovation, total. I could tell you that there'd be tons of money from the state financing it, okay? As far as security and everything, we already have the cameras in play. In the future, we actually want to connect the cameras to the police department, but right now they're not compatible. But we're hoping in the future they are, the surrounding area, but the facility itself will have its own security system in play. It's you know, high tech.
So
It'd be actually, I'll be telling you guys, it'd be actually enclosed. You'd have to go to like a security system to see an individual, whatever. It'd be housed.
they're gonna be checking in, they'll be spending evening. It's not an in and out patient or both.
It'd be totally, they'll be staying there.
Okay.
They'll be housed there. Okay, we'll probably create about 50 jobs or more. Okay, these are good paying jobs. These are not just, these are facilities from the medical staff on the medical side. Okay. Okay.
That's the building.
That's the old county building. Yeah,
The old
That's-
what?
it's in the middle.
Oh, over there, in McCall and Dinuba.
Danuba McCall, yes.
Okay, all right. all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
That shopping center.
yeah, well,
No,
it used to be the
Alpha
Alpha
Alpha Beta,
Beta, it'd be in the middle.
where West America Bank used to be out on McCall and Dinuba in that shopping center there. I think there was,
It used to be
Right.
Thrifties, long time ago.
yeah, oh, that's the actual site is Thrifties.
Yeah, a long
Okay.
time ago,
Okay.
but they're taking the entire section. So it'd be total renovation, totally.
Beautiful.
I mean, tons of money, free money from the state.
Well, the help is the best part.
Well, it's a perfect timing, guys. I'll be honest with you. There's an old saying. I mean, you have a problem out there. Don't kick it down the street. Don't take it, dump it on someone else's neighborhood. Don't take it down the next city.
Just handle
Don't
it.
do that.
Yeah.
The idea is let's fix the problem. Let's step up to the plate, guys. Okay? This is how it works in our society.
I have a question for you.
Any
Is
more
there-
questions?
Yeah, is there a website we can go to get more detail on that?
What was that now?
Is there a website we can go to?
At this time, no, we're not, we still have to finishing the final touches with the county. The states gave us the green light. It's a green light from the state of California. And that's, I'll be honest with you, to get this funding, you had to go through all state hospitals. This wasn't an easy task, okay? I'm sorry it took so long, guys, because under the situation and during the pandemic, everything kind of got shut down, everything got delayed. Okay. And then the virus hit, and so there was some factors involved. So we are moving forward on this issue. And the good thing about it, it's a solution to be fixed for the help the people. And it's a safe matter. It won't be no risk involved for the law enforcement. Okay, any more questions? You're welcome.
Yes, sir. I would like to start. My name's Jeanette Solorio. We've come to the health board before. But tonight I'm coming unfortunately with the concern. Okay, in 2019, I came before with Selma Little League. I was on the board. Selma Little League under the Challenger program, which was with the special needs teams. And I printed out. So in 2019, on December 3rd, 2019, I came before you with Selma Little League and we were granted $22,660. Some of you were on the board back then and some of you are new. And a little bit of history about that. The purpose for the major portion of that grant was to redo the dugouts to be ADA compliant because we had some children on our teams that were either in walkers or used wheelchairs, and they were not able to enter the dugouts with the rest of the team due to the entrance being too small. So that work got done. Then we came back after COVID and we started resuming and playing ball again. But now my concern is that now that the field is nice and beautiful and the repairs have been made, when tournaments are hosted, the special needs teams now are asked to be moved to either the St. Joseph's Field, and actually even I talked to some other parents, even like go find another field or go play out of town. So specifically on April 2nd, I attended a game and we had children in wheelchairs and even some players from Sunnyside. It was Selma versus Sunnyside that day that were in special chairs, having to try to navigate on the field that has not been prepared properly. And just before jumping to conclusions, I walked over to the snack bar and asked, like, the gals and some of the board members, do you realize that we have children in wheelchairs playing over here on this field and not on the field that money was given by the health board to make accessible for them? And I was informed that yes, they were aware, and I was shocked that they made a conscious decision, that the board had a discussion and actually voted and made a conscious decision to move the special needs teams over. That was concerning to me. Selma Little League board. And I asked for the documentation of those minutes because I believe that's public record. And I was not given privy to those. So that's my concern because I came before you guys as part of the board at that time, and the money was requested for those specific, intentions. And now they're not being used in that way. I don't know the criteria, how that works, but I just felt compelled to inform you guys. And I don't know, Charlotte, and I know some of the parents from Sunnyside were also a little bit concerned because we've already had established protocol that we played on that field because it was a little bit more accessible and easier to navigate for children in chairs, right? So, Charlotte, if you'd like to add. Well, and I do even have pictures if you need.
Wait, before you step away, did you say you were on that board?
At the time in
At the time.
2019, yes, and
But
then
It's
I'm now,
different board members now have made different decisions.
yeah, but since the repairs have been made, it's been a struggle to maintain that time slot. And in challengers, is only 2 innings. And I'm all for, I should probably said this, I'm all for, I know we need to generate revenue. I'm all for tournaments being held. But Challenger program only plays Sundays at 10 o'clock, 2 innings. So it would be max an hour, hour and 15 that the tournament could revolve around. You know, they can even do like a little exhibition type. So I'm not opposed to tournaments being held in our community. I understand the financial, the fiscal part of that. But my opinion is that the money was used for that. It's challengers. It's only 2 innings. We don't even play a full game. That time should be blocked out for the challenger program at the least, right?
I have a question. Who owns the field?
Good question. We've talked about that. I believe the school district rents it out or has granted usage to Selma Little League.
So our Parks and Recreation here has nothing to do with the Little League, is that correct? So they can't oversight them and say, here's my thing. I mean, I've seen tournaments done and they can clearly work around a 2-hour period for the kids. It was designated for the special needs kids in those dugouts, and it wouldn't have been a big difference if they would have used the field they're saying they made you use. It's just, it's like read the need. I mean, it's not that hard. I just think for some reason that day it became difficult. I think that maybe the chair should reach out to them and just consult with the Selma Little League board, because that's just the right thing to do. Those kids need those dugouts.
Right.
It's just 2 hours. It's not 7 innings. It's,
2 innings, 1 hour.
I mean, yeah, no,
hour
it's 2
15
innings
max.
compared to 7, where I can't see how they can't work around that. I mean, it's for the kids.
So generally on Sunday, what is the time slot for the games for Little League? You guys know?
Usually there's this 50-70 league games unless they have special tournaments. And I believe those happen after the challenger games.
And I'm not real familiar
Historically.
with how many fields are in this area, but there's only one that was converted for special ed,
Right, when
for
we,
special needs, I'm sorry.
that's okay.
Which is
yeah.
the main field.
The
Yeah,
main
and we,
field.
part of Plan B was to redo the dugouts at St. Joseph Field, but we hadn't gotten there yet. So the main baseball field is the one that's been redone to when we approach the board to help us become ADA compliant.
Okay, and of course, I wasn't on the board
Right.
at that time. So real quickly, what special things did you do? I mean, instead of steps, is there steps and a ramp? What were the corrections? Or the
The old dugouts were completely demolished. New dugouts were designed, block light and put up and with the right dimensions, so children
that
with wheelchairs could
area
fit in
in
there.
space?
And in what was supposed to happen was all the asphalt from the gate leading to the dugouts was supposed to be smoothed over because it was there was a lot of holes, it wasn't safe, really bumpy. And most of that got done where from the gate where you enter the Little League field to the dugouts, they redid the asphalt, I guess it is.
Yeah.
But I would also just like to add to this that when the Challenger team does play on that field, we are not allotted an announcer to say our kids' names like they do during the regular Selma Little League games. We have no music or anything like that. And sometimes the snack bar is not even open during the hours of the Challenger League game either. So we are not afforded the things that the kids on the other teams are afforded on that field. I feel like our kids should be honored and have their names announced prior to them coming up to the plate. And I feel like the music and everything should be there. I don't think our kids should be any different than anybody else.
Agreed.
We'll have to make contact with the president of the Selma Little.
Yeah,
Little League.
and again, like I said, with most of this a new body and not privy to what transpired in 2019. I can only say, let's look into it, you know, and see what we can do, but we're not owners of the fields, we're not acquiring rent, so it kind of makes our hands tied on that fact, even though we participated in making the provisions to make the kids able to, you know, enjoy themselves.
Well, we provided funding for both the Little League and your guys' program, so, I mean,
Well, and again, I'm just saying that this is happening right now. So let us take a look at it and see what we can do.
I spoke to the secretary and was looking through my files, but I wasn't able to find it yet, but we had a quote, and then specifically on the quote for the 22,000 included the fees and what was cost to make the dugouts,
Okay.
redo the dugouts, and what the plan was for that and the reasoning behind it. I don't know if you guys have access to.
I probably have a copy of it. I'll
Right, and
Right.
so the date that we came and did the request was Tuesday, December 3rd, 2019.
I think we have the records from the past.
Right, and we
meetings.
specified on there because we provided a detailed quote on the work that would be done.
Amy, did you have something?
Hello, everyone. My name is Amy Smart, and I'm the Community Services Director for the City of Selma. So we do own the fields. So I can say that we can have a conversation and get all sides of the story. Obviously, we need to do some reach out and talk with the other parties. But I do think that a conversation needs to be had. So I can make contact with the president and speak with him directly to see what we can do, because I do agree that our special needs children deserve to have equal everything that we would give to any other child. So I will make contact with them and schedule some sort of meeting, follow up with you guys after that.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, Amy.
With that information, we were always told it was a school district that owned those. So what I would like to see proposed is another request to retrofit that other field. I wouldn't have a problem funding that. I mean, it's a good need.
that we funded at that time $22,660 for those renovations.
So,
for
so
those-
the other field is where at?
St.
They
Joseph.
call it, we
Saint-
call it, well, from what I know, and again, I'm not sure, but when I was on the board, I believe that particular field also, it's weird when we were looking into it the first time. No one really knew a portion was Selma City or the land belonged to the school board, but then they somehow lent it
this-
to,
Is this north of St. Joseph's?
that's
Is that where the field is?
west. And the field, the St. Joseph's field is do you have the main Little League field, the snack bar, and then the next field, right?
Okay.
That would be considered the St. Joseph's field. And I do not know if the church owns that or not.
Amy's,
That was mine. So the St. Joseph's Field we run. So in the future, if we're looking at renovating that was something that,
Okay.
yeah, that's the
Okay,
field that I
so-
was
okay,
referring
all
to.
right.
I only heard part of that, so I
And the
apologize. That is
lights,
the
like,
field.
it's all different. It's the Little League field is a special kind of situation because it was part of Wilson Elementary School.
Yeah, that one's gonna be different. So
Right.
for St. Joseph's, it's a partnership between the city and the church. But the city runs those fields and manages all of that through our contract.
And
So
I
that's
believe
the one we can. look
The
into.
main field that we already
Yes.
repaired was in partnership between the school district and the Little.
okay,
Leagues.
all right, I see.
Thank you.
Okay.
So just to clarify, you're gonna go ahead and work it out with the rec department, and we're gonna go ahead and let you guys handle that. Because they provided the money, and then you guys need to work together to resolve that.
Yeah, and we'll work with the.
Okay.
Selma League on the project.
Okay, okay,
Simple conversations, probably.
that's great. Thank you.
Great.
Keep us posted, please. Okay. Any other public comment? With that, I will close that. And the fifth item is additions to the agenda. At this time, if the board has any, may need to add an item to the agenda upon a 2/3 vote, the board finds that there would be a need for immediate action on this matter, and the need came to the attention of the board after posting to this agenda. So is there any agenda items that need to be added? Okay, with that, I'll close that. At this time, number 6, potential conflict of interest. If there's any board member that has a conflict of interest. Yes, no? Okay. Approval of the past minutes for February 9th, 20. Oh,
Yeah, we do.
Oh, we did,
sorry.
yeah, we did do roll call. Now you're acting like me. Anyway, approval of the past minutes, and they are here. Would anybody like to make a motion to approve?
I make a motion to approve the minutes for February 9th, 2023.
We got a second? Can we have a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
All approved?
All approved. No. Number 8, information items, and we'll start with the financial report.
Okay, so today's current balance, we have $431,702.76. February's balance was $337,179. We had one deposit for $106,657.06. Check 1596 was written to Louis Zamora Soccer Camp. That was for the ESY grant program for $875. Check 1597 attorney fees for $99. Check 1598 was for our Debbie Hubble, $39.96. Check 1599 Debbie Hubble for timesheet 5, $840. Check 1600 Leon Computers, $375. In March balance, we had a balance of $441,607.10. Check 1601 Price and Page, $2,264. Check 1602 attorney fees, $2,835. Check 1603 Fresno County Clerk's Office, $1,384.83. Check 1604 Fresno County Clerk Elections, $445.37. Check 1605 Fresno County Elections, $1,164.72. April's balance was $433,512.68. Check 1606 was Bloomy's Floral for $515.26. Check 1607 Uniquely Yours for our name plaques, $114.16. Check 1608 attorney fees for $445.50. I also wrote out a check because I had a bill for Price and Page for 7, which was 1609, check 1609. For completion of our audit for $735, and check 1610 was to the Selma Little League for the ESY grant proposal, $735. They have not cashed that check. It is not cleared.
Okay. Any questions? Okay, so we're gonna move to item 8B. And it's the update of the Health Board website. And we casually met with Joey, and we wanted to expand on kind of changing it up. So I'm gonna let Joey take over.
Well, there's the mental health pictures that we could do. So give me 1 second.
You have an echo. Basically, what we're trying to do is with the mental health and people inviting them to our website. Oh, it's your phone? Okay. Anyway, we wanted to kind of change it up with the picture and make it inviting, so it was easy access for them to review. So with that, I'll turn it over to Joey.
Yeah, so there's talk about changing the homepage and then possibly also along with that, perhaps the menu layout to make it more accessible in regards to the mental health feature. That way, anybody that wants to look at the RFP can click on that right away from the homepage and then bring it up. And then have, once they click on that, to have a separate web page explaining what the RFP is, kind of introducing it, and then a link on there where they can download the RFP. So that's one change that we wanted to
Yes.
introduce soon. The other is like a blog of sorts. So there's pictures that can be added to the blog and perhaps an explanation of what it is. And so the purpose of that, I know there's different organizations that get money. And so sometimes there's a picture that goes along with, you know, the event that took place or whatever they use the money for. So that access can be given to the board so that they themselves can upload a picture and an explanation of what's going on there, just to kind of keep, you know, the website fresh. So people, you know, see what's going on with it. So
And-
those are two of the changes that we're talking about.
Because you were saying the current website would only allow certain photos, not like a smaller photo like the blog could handle.
Right, the blog would be more appropriate for that. Because that would allow you to put pictures from a smartphone, you know, that are probably lower resolution. And that would just make it easier to upload, you know, from a phone. So we're gonna, you know, introduce those features gradually, you know, this year.
Okay. And then the other thing we were talking about is the website, try to make it user friendly for mobile because looking on the computer on our website, it's more user friendly. Things are a little larger, but when we're trying to look at it on a cell phone, it makes it more difficult to find. And that was the actual reason that we started talking about the website design is how do we make the RFP easier to find for our mental health partners?
Yeah, and so the mobile part of the website, I'm gonna look into seeing how we can adjust. Because one thing that we have to keep in mind is the devices are all different. And so some have a smaller screen, you know, and some, you know, have a really big screen. And so it's intended to adjust no matter what the screen is. So we'll see what we can do on that end, you know, try to make it easier for maybe a smaller screen to navigate. So.
Thank you. Okay, 8C is the ad hoc committee, which is myself and Letitia. This was Letitia had requested that with the fallen Officer Carrasco, if we as a health board could do something for their family. So through legal, Ken, we kind of put together this ad hoc committee and we both met with police chief. And at this point, I'm going to turn over to Letitia and she can introduce our police chief.
Chief, come on up, Chief.
Yeah, come on up.
How Chris. So, well, we met with Chief and we went over some stuff that we wanted to see what was best for the department that he felt and with his staff. So he's gonna go ahead and speak on what he has come up with right here.
Well, first of all, thank you very much, Mr. Chair and members of the Selma Healthcare District Board. I apologize. You should say, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. So you kind of, you all stumped me, which is very hard to do. If anyone that knows me, it's hard to stump me and to get me to stop talking. So congratulations to you all.
Well, thank you.
I'm sure my boss would love to be here right now to see that. However, I won't read from this narrative that I brought you all. This narrative is just some quick talking points. And I apologize, I printed it up in 12 font and not 14 font like normally. But unfortunately, on January 31st, we lost Officer Gonzalo Carrasco Jr. Officer Carrasco was performing his daily duties, saw a suspicious subject and was trying to make contact with that subject when he was ambushed and killed. Officer Carrasco is the first officer that the Selma Police Department has lost in the line of duty. He leaves behind a son and loving family who we are in constant communication with to ensure that the family knows that we're here for them as they grieve this tragic loss. With that, for a police chief, losing a police officer is one of the worst things that we'll ever have to do in that leadership position. Unfortunately, well, a little bit about myself. I have 26 years in law enforcement business. In those 26 years, I've attended many officers' funerals throughout the state of California and continue to speak with my colleagues around the state and even nation. In that, after losing Officer Carrasco, there's a lot of attention that goes towards the family and towards the community in the very short term. But unfortunately, as you all know, there's so many tragedies every day around the state and nation that our attentions get taken elsewhere. So with that, immediately we started to plan as to how we were going to memorialize and honor Officer Carrasco every year. Something that would be fitting of a true hero, something that would be fitting for his family to feel like there was thought and that there was something grandiose to memorialize their loved one, which is the least that we can do. And in doing so, and in my travels and in my experiences in over 2 decades in law enforcement, I've seen many memorials from small to large. And I have, I think on the second page, a rendering of what we're hoping to create for Officer Carrasco in front of the police department. And we're going to do that in front of the police department for a few reasons. The biggest reason is it's going to be able to, the city owns the property, so we don't have to ask permission from anyone. The council has already given us permission. We don't have to purchase land, which is an enormous cost, especially in the Central Valley and in the state of California, as you all very well know. That said, it's right outside the home where Officer Carrasco worked and lived, because our officers put in very long hours. It's a 24-hour a day, 7-day-a-week operation. A lot of these guys work a lot of overtime, so sometimes they'll spend more time at work than they will at home. With that, this memorial will be a location that the family will know to go every year. Our community members will know where to go to honor this young man and the contributions he gave of himself to make the community of Selma safe, because that's what he was doing at the time of this tragic event. Additionally, it reminds our brothers and sisters in law enforcement of the realities of our profession and the dangers that we face every day. Coming to work and going home is not an absolute truth, right? Unfortunately, no matter how well we train, no matter how good our tools are, true evil exists in the world, and we are exposed to those true evils. With that, we put together this rendering. We brought it to the council. The council is very pleased with it. Many of our community members were, and more importantly, the Carrasco family was happy with this project. So we are moving forward diligently. Our hopes are to have this built and created or completed by the end of August of 2023. So currently where we're at is we have Yamabe and Horn is currently drawing the plans for this because it is going on city property. We have to have plans and a site plan and all the other legal requirements to build and make an improvement to the city's property. They're doing that pro bono, so they're not charging us anything. The actual monument, which is a piece of granite with a granite, I would just, the best way to describe would be granite memorial will be placed in that granite boulder. Rico's Memorial Services giving us a really good deal on or helping us out with the cost of that monument, because if anyone's ever bought a rock before, they're extremely expensive. So this piece of granite will stand approximately 5 feet tall. It'll be indicative of what our profession stands for, which is strength in eternity. Because what we do, again, we're 24-hour, 7-day-a-week operation. We don't go to sleep. We don't take days off. It doesn't matter what holidays are going on or what's going on in our personal lives. We have to show up to work to maintain the safety of our community. So we chose these pieces. They came with a lot of thought as to how we would construct this. We'll call it a memorial garden because it's a place that we'll be able to come sit down and pay honor to this young man. So with that, our estimated cost for total completion is $30,000. Currently, we have about $10,000 and looking to raise the rest of those monies. And a big reason that we didn't ask the city for the money was because we had so many citizens throughout the nation that wanted to do something for Gonzalo. And that's kind of why I'm here today is your members of your board, your committee came to talk to me and ask how you could help. And we absolutely appreciate that. I'm kind of taken back because I'm not used to people coming to us saying, how can we help? So I can't thank all of you enough and tell you how much I appreciate you coming to us and asking how can we help. I will tell you that I spoke, and when I spoke with your members of the committee, I told them that I would go and speak with the Selma Police Officers Association, because what I try to do as a leader of this organization is I try to do things that will be meaningful and useful to the men and women that have to go out there and do the difficult job. Unfortunately, I don't get to drive a police car and chase people anymore, which is what I really truly love to do. Yeah, it's fun. It's a great challenge. I sit behind a desk and I make policy, and I support my troops with the best training and equipment that I can, and mentor and development for them so that they will hopefully sit in my seat someday. That keeps me out of the field, unfortunately. However, that's why I try to remain in constant contact with them to ensure that we're implementing policy, whether we're getting them tools that they will use, want to use, and know that those tools will be used in a manner that's going to enhance their life and enhance their work environment. Because if they're happy coming to work, we're going to get a better work product, and thus the community is going to drastically improve, and the community will become better. So with that, I spoke with the SPOA, and these are some of the things that we discussed that might be helpful if the board is willing to allow these items for us. So that is, we were asking for $10,000 for the memorial. With your generosity, we would truly appreciate that. Would get us a lot closer to our goal and take a lot of stress off of myself and the POA. In addition, the board, and to your credit, you asked what else can we do, which again takes me back, because police chiefs aren't used to people coming and saying, what can we do to help? And based on your goals and objectives for the Selma Healthcare District, we talked with the POA and we came up with some ideas. What I'll say is that the one thing that has drastically shifted in the law enforcement profession is we've become very cognizant and it's becoming more transparent that the wellness of our officers is extremely important, right? The suicide rate for law enforcement professionals far exceeds the suicide rate of our everyday citizen, if you will, those not in the profession. But it goes beyond suicide. It goes to our health, our hearts, our backs. And we wanted to do something that was in line with your goals and objectives, which is creating a healthier community member. So one idea that we had was having a snack bar that we could supply healthy snacks for our personnel. And I'm going to give you a great example. Our personnel do a good job of bringing, going to the store, getting something to snack on as they're going throughout their 12-hour shift. But just the other night, we had an officer-involved shooting. When we go to these type of scenes or homicide scenes, we're stuck on those scenes for countless hours, anywhere from 2 to 8 hours. And that there's just no way you can't just go, hey, I'm going to go to 7-Eleven real quick, time out. You're stuck on those scenes. So this would allow us an opportunity to be able to have something for them to get them through that moment in time. Beyond that, many of our investigators on certain types of critical incidents are stuck at the police department for hours. They're interviewing people, they're writing reports, they're writing search warrants. And this healthy snack would be a great way for them to have something to get them through those times and still be a benefit to their physical health just as much as their mental health. So that's kind of how we came up with the idea. I don't have any hard numbers because it's very difficult. I don't know what exactly we would do. It would just be dependent on your generosity. But and additionally, we were looking to get a commercial ice machine. Our fire department has an ice machine. Our public works has an ice machine. And those are great during the day, but when you're running in and out of the building because we're booking someone, we have to go up to Fresno County, or it's just, if it's easy, it's more accessible, they're more likely to use it. So having a commercial ice machine at our facility would be crucial and a well-deserved and well-needed addition to their snack bar or to their break room. You all know that our temperatures can get up to the 112, 115 degrees, which is hot for anybody. But our officers are wearing ballistic vests, which add to that body temperature. So having ice to put in their drinks is going to be a refreshing addition to their normal day-to-day duties and kind of routines, if you will. Additionally, we, in fact, on May 9th, will be, well, today's the 9th, correct? I lose track of my days. I think May 11th, we'll be doing an outreach over in the Vadio. And we're going to be taking hot dogs and chips and some cold water so that I have the opportunity to sit down and talk with our community members. And then that ice machine will be crucial to those engagements so we can fill up our ice chests as we roll out to these neighborhoods. That's something that is very big for my this next year as your police chief, because community engagement is crucial for our overall success. So I don't want to get off on a tangent, but the ice machine will serve many purposes, not just for us, but for the community as well. And with that, I have an estimated cost of about $4,000 for an ice machine. I'm also looking, hopefully, $2,000 for hardware, meaning some shelving and maybe a drink refrigerator, so that we can have cold drinks for them all the time. And then about $2,400 a year to be able to supply the snack bar.
Was
yes. It would just be one of those smaller drink machines. We have a refrigerator, but when we're full staffed, about 40 cops and another 15 civilian personnel. So everybody brings their food to work, and that refrigerator gets filled up pretty quick. So what happens is the drinks kind of get left out because there's so much food in that refrigerator. So with that, I was thinking of purchasing just a little beverage cooler that we could refill just with drinks, just for drinks. So there's always a cold drink readily available for them. And in addition, we also serve our citizens as well. If we have a victim or even a suspect that needs some water, it's a great way for us to just not just service our police officers, but our citizens as well. So again, I'll just recap. That was $2,000 for hardware, meaning shelving in a small beverage refrigerator, and $4,000 for a commercial ice machine, and $2,400 to supply that snack bar, which is about $200 a month. And I've talked a lot, so I apologize. I told you, don't get me talking. If you get me talking, it's hard to get me to be quiet. So if you have any questions or if I've left anything out. I would agree. However, again, this is a very rare position you've put me in where someone's come and asked us for something. And I try to be moderate, very like anything in moderation, right? Not overdo it. I know how I would do if it was my money, but I'm trying to be mindful of you all, and I appreciate your generosity. I know that our personnel do. You know, right now I'm so very proud of them. We've been short-staffed, 30% of our workforce. They've gone through the loss of their brother. We've had critical incidents here in town, and the men and women of the Selma Police Department have risen to the occasion. Not only have they worked harder, had more output with less people, we've taken on new challenges such as dispatching for the city of Parlier, and which not only enhances the city of Parlier, but enhances the city of Selma. It allows us to create and mentor, develop a much better radio communications dispatcher, but it also enhances our policing here in Selma. Because the reality is our criminals nowadays, they're all mobile. They go from town to town, up and down the state, up and down the county. And our ability to listen to what they're doing and vice versa will prove to be very beneficial. But what I would say is that I'm so proud at the work that our men and women have done in the short time I've been here, and the asks that we've put on them and their ability to meet those asks and then build on that makes me proud of who they are and proud to be their chief of police. And if anyone is deserving of these items, it's them. And it's not just our police officers, our dispatchers, our command staff, our records clerks, everyone. And that's what I'll say.
Thank you, Chief.
This is informational, and then later on, we vote to put it on the agenda, right? If we want to discuss it or we want to.
How are you pressed on the time for?
So however you all would like to, we are, with regards to the memorial, we're pushing pretty quick on that. We're in May. I can't believe it's already May.
So total for everything, including the memorial, comes out to $18,400
Yes,
with an annual.
the annual, we
the
estimated
snacks,
2,400.
which
Yes,
would
yes,
be
ma'am.
Every year after that, after this year.
Yes, ma'am.
I think
And then
I think it's a great idea.
Right.
Yeah.
the discussion is to maybe increase that a little bit for,
Well, I was thinking to rounding it up to 10,000 to compensate for the snack bar for a larger refrigerator. I mean, you can come back with us with the price on a larger refrigerator unit, because you've got, maybe gonna have kids coming from a school
Right.
visiting, you know, or you say you have people coming in. So, you know, you gotta accommodate a lot of people. So that's a
Yeah,
lot of
planning-
beverages.
Planning for growth, future growth.
and the future growth.
You know, if you would so gracious give us $10,000 for the snack bar and the ice machine and the bigger refrigerator, I can make that work. And you're right. We are now hosting community groups at our police department because that's why we have that community room. And I think this Halloween we had I'm guess, was it special needs event with a low sensory? That's it. It was a low sensory event where we invited children with autism and other special needs to participate at our police department. So again, we plan to be very community minded, or we are very community minded.
Yeah, Exactly.
That's what I bring to the table as your chief of police.
I was looking more at, don't kill me and send me daggers, but I was looking at the total of 30,000 and the 8,400 for a total of 38,400. But
Um,
it has to be a discussion.
well,
item, right?
And we mentioned that when Letitia and I met with him, we were gracious enough to take care of the whole monument. But in turn, there's so many other people that are interested in participating. We don't want to take away the thunder from everybody that wants to be involved in this. So we left it up to our police chief to determine what amount, for us and the 10,000, which I'm with you, I concur. I would graciously give you the 30 for the whole monument, but I know everybody wants to take part and share in the event.
They do. And I absolutely appreciate that. By the way, just so you're aware, the money for the monument will be funneled through, those donations will be at the Selma Chamber of Commerce. It's and I apologize, the exact name of the nonprofit, but they're taking care of that for us to pay the contractors and on all that stuff. I hate putting money through. The one thing I don't like as a police chief, I don't like to touch money. It puts me in a bad position. I don't like being in that position. The other money for the snack bar, that would go to the Police Officers Association. And we'll coordinate with them as we have been to make sure we've this project completed.
Why different? With the police association, is that gonna require different?
I think they have their own.
They
tax
do.
ID, correct?
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
They
we
do.
Just write the
No
check out to them,
conflict.
and then the memorial check would go to the people handling the memorial
Yes,
Right.
ma'am. The Selma Chamber, because,
or Sama Chamber.
yes,
they
ma'am,
can-
and I'll get that information to
So
you.
the Selma Chamber on the monument,
Yes,
for that 10,000 that we're using their numbers, correct?
yes,
And then the
Okay.
POA for this other 10,000, correct?
yes, ma'am.
10 and
Okay,
10?
So are we in agreement at this point to do this, or?
I mean,
Yes.
they need to
I
get
think it
this
has to be an
going.
action item.
Because it's agendized as an information item, I have, we haven't gotten there yet, but we talked a little bit. I think there's gonna be a need to call a special meeting in June for
Oh,
other
okay.
purposes.
All right,
Or we can have a special meeting as soon as possible.
Sure, yeah, but I'm just saying for one of the other
secondary.
items,
No-
there's
no
gonna
vote
be one
tonight.
in June already
Yeah.
that we're gonna have to set up. And so if we could, if it needs to be handled at another special meeting before that,
Like another month away. They need their snack bar stuff now.
Well, just making a call for a special meeting.
sure, yeah, you can call for a
Yeah.
special meeting before that. I was just saying that there's likely
Suggesting-
gonna be one
since
already.
there's
Wait
one
another
on the
month,
calendar.
It's already been a couple of
Well-
months
well, we
already.
can work
It's gonna
that out.
Start
Yeah.
getting hot.
we can just figure out the end of this month or beginning of June. Do you have a date on the June?
No, I
No?
don't.
Okay,
You tell me, I'll be here.
But that would give enough time also to get some of these
You don't need to
details
be
with
here for that.
regards to, you had mentioned the Chamber of Commerce or potentially another entity. that would be
Yeah,
receiving the
their
funds.
their actual nonprofit.
That would just give
number.
a bit of time to get those details in place as well.
And my apologies.
Oh, no worries.
no,
Yeah.
hey, listen, we're all on board here. It's just getting it
Yes.
the
Gotta
politically
get it on
correct, yeah.
This sheet.
Oh.
That's it.
Yeah, no,
We'll get it.
absolutely. Again,
It's gonna get hot and you guys need the ice, you guys need these stuff. So it's,
So it's
we
on
can,
both
we can
items.
meet
We can't
as soon as possible.
We-
You don't
we-
need to be here
do
for that.
one tonight.
Yeah.
no, I'll be here.
But it's.
Thank you, though.
Take
I'm
this
just saying.
information, and then at the next special
You just.
meeting, prepare an action item on it.
Okay, all
And
right,
then whether it be one or two.
Yeah.
Work that out,
okay.
but, that's what I'd recommend.
So you're gonna reach out to Leticia and get her some numbers or
Yeah.
how?
Yes,
We-
ma'am.
okay,
Whatever
okay.
direction you need me to do,
Right.
I'll do what,
No, we got the numbers.
We
put-
have the
basically
numbers?
And
Basically, now we need to
Not
do a special
Okay,
A
that's fine.
special meeting to,
And then
to do
get
the
it,
voting.
get the chamber stuff on this and then the POA on one of these sheets. That's it.
You have our 100% support. Let's just get it done the right way.
Yes, ma'am.
and The legal way and
yes, ma'am.
Get that.
Completely understood. Completely. And
Okay.
again, I just can't thank you all enough.
I do have another question while I
Yes.
have you up here. I mean, this is to change the subject, but
Wait, can we stay on the subject?
okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Chief, just a thought with the things that the officers would like to do. Are we thinking a plaque on each one of those items like the ice machine in honor of Officers Carrasco or in memory of?
So I'm being very careful as to how we memorialize Officer Carrasco. In speaking with some other agencies who have lost this great monument in front is our best way. I don't want to put too much out, and this is difficult to communicate, but if it's always in their face, it's hard for them to. So we have some things inside the building that will be very, I don't want to say small, but very poignant to where everyone will see it. And it's that constant reminder, because the one thing in our business, like any other business, and I'm not saying this is that Officer Carrasco was, I'm saying the one thing that we hit home to our people is that complacency kills. Just like anything, I was telling the story the other day. I've done roofing, framing, poured concrete, and one day I was on my roof fixing something very small. And I fell off the roof and had to get 12 staples in my elbow. I'd done things more dangerous than that, but it's because I felt comfortable and I was in a rush and I wasn't as careful as I would have been if I was at the top of the roof, because I was at the bottom of the roof, and that comfort sometimes can hurt us. So that's why we're constantly kind of hitting home that point to our personnel, is to always be careful, keep your head on a swivel. And I think that's sometimes why we get complaints from our citizens, because our officers walk up with their hand on their gun, and our reality is we can't get comfortable because we just don't know when that time is going to come.
Makes sense.
Okay, I have a question. To change the subject, sorry. In your vehicles, do you guys have defibrillators?
We do not. We do not.
Nobody has defibrillators?
No, typically we have our ambulance, our paramedics on staff. So they're getting to those calls much quicker, well, as quick as we are. We are a high call volume city, so
Yeah.
we actually don't go to medical calls unless there's a life or death kind of situation. And even then it can be difficult to break
Okay.
away from where we're at. But we've had that conversation before. It's adding that training with post and then getting our personnel trained, because once we do that,
Mhm.
if we train one, we got to train them all.
Right,
And
right,
then we got a lot of them.
right.
So right now I'm being very cognizant of where
Okay.
they're at. Right now, we have hired a lot of new personnel, and I'm hoping by December of 23, we will be fully staffed, and not just fully staffed, but staffed and our people not in training out on the streets, so that we can do that advanced training that we desperately need to get to.
Right.
So
Do you guys also, do you carry Narcan?
they do. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, that's all. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Rudy, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you all, and I will quit talking.
Have a good night.
Thank you, Chief.
Be safe.
Thank you.
Okay, that concludes our information items. We'll go to action items. 9A is designating a person who shall have the authority to sign checks as well as a treasurer as per bylaws. And this was brought to the health board's attention by Ozzy with the auditors. So we kind of were talking about it, and there's 5 of us and we get 4 years and 4, we're constantly on, off, on, off. So, and the rapport with the secretary and the treasurer is good. I think what we'll do is just have Debbie be the secondary signer on the deal, because you guys are in constant contact. And that way, I think it'll make things a lot simpler.
Have to, make, for the bank one day and just, you have.
And the thing about the checks, we'll just, under your signature on the line, we'll just have her, since you just got new checks, I would say it would be doable. You can ask the bank to have sign underneath to take care of that. Okay? All right, next item is the discussion, the committee for the RFP decision. At this time, I'll turn it over to Anthony.
Okay. Just want to take the opportunity, just kind of overview of our healthcare district and kind of where we are with some of the recent changes. And I'd like to thank Danny for coordinating the move to this new venue.
And Amy
Thank you,
and
Amy.
Joey.
And Joey. Thank you. Thank you all. Yeah.
Very good.
All right. In 1961, a 48-bed hospital was built on a 10-acre plot on the east side of the city on Rose Avenue. The Selma Healthcare District was formed in 1969 to operate the hospital until 1999, when Adventist Health purchased the Selma Community Hospital and is now Adventist Health of Selma. The Selma Healthcare District continues to exist pursuant to the local healthcare district law. The district's mission is to improve healthcare in the communities served by the district, which include the city of Selma and portions of the city of Parlier. In order to carry out its mission to improve the health and well-being of its residents, the district is empowered to make grants to qualified parties, so long as such grants are related to the mission of the district. Our district is governed by 5 board and member of directors, elected for a 4-year term. Late last year, the district adopted and updated a comprehensive grant funding program related to district-led healthcare initiatives. As part of the effort, the district board of directors would determine its own priorities directly related to health, wellness, and mental health services within the district. And during the December 2nd meeting of last year, the board took action to authorize the release of a request for proposal focused on mental health services for this year. By this request for proposal, otherwise known as the RFP, the district seeks to partner with qualified agencies on any project directly related to the provision of mental health services within the district. The board will make a total of $100,000 available to qualified recipients, who shall also make a minimum cash or in-kind contribution matching the district's contribution to the effort. The board has also allocated up to $50,000 for micro grants. These grants are to support community health and wellness services provided by nonprofit, community-based organizations and public agencies. These grants would not exceed $5,000 for any one program each year. So this is just kind of an overall. For more details, you can actually look at the RFP online at selmahealthcaredistrict.org, where we are for this year.
So do you want to also take, you kind of did C too, but do you wanted to, the introduction of the board members? And I think you basically explained the grants. So that's all taken care of?
Yep.
Okay. So let's move on to,
If I may, my understanding is that the RFP was released. Step is going to be to form a committee, a review committee to look at the submission, submissions or submission. And so looking at the RFP itself, it says that the chair will be a member of the committee and then one other member. So it'll be considered an ad hoc committee, meaning that it's not going to go on in perpetuity. It's just for this purpose of reviewing the RFP submission.
right,
So, and that would be at the chair's direction of setting up a review committee. You would be one and then one other member.
okay, so Greg, we have an ad hoc committee that we had started on this RFP. It was Anthony and myself. So I think what we'll end up doing is, since that committee was on the forefront, and to finalize it, continue to be the same two people.
I think that'll work perfectly. The other part of the process, and this goes back to what I was mentioning before, is that the RFP calls for the recommended proposer to present to the district during the month of June. And so that's going to require a special
Special
meeting to
meeting.
kind of finalize this
Got it,
process.
okay.
I'm not.
So is there already somebody trying to submit a program here?
Yes,
I think- Yeah, there was we've been contacted by two.
I asked him to be here
One-
tonight too, to explain to the board. Huh?
You're on the agenda to present.
I think that's a separate
This is
item.
a different item.
So if there's already an ad hoc committee prepared to be the review committee, it sounds like, I think the only missing piece would be to set a special meeting in June.
For the review of,
For the review
Yeah.
committee, you to come back and present to the board, the review committee's recommendation
Okay.
on the RFP, and then the full board could make a decision to finalize the process.
Debbie, do you have the contents from them? So we can disperse it to all members, so have a chance to take a look at it.
A submission already. This is somebody who submitted.
Right.
The RFP also provides that if the review committee desires to meet with a proposer,
Mhm.
then that would, the notification would be sent out May 15th. Then, as I mentioned, the recommended proposer would be presented to this board by the committee in a June special meeting. And so that's the only missing piece that'll need to be.
Okay. Which,
Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
So that. The board. One of the, people. Oh, good.
No conflict.
Yeah, I get worried about that. Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
Good question.
Gotta
So,
keep you guys on your
you
toes.
were, you had this information, and so did Herrera and yourself. You guys all had this?
I got it
including the
right
attorney?
now.
Or you barely got this right
Yeah,
now?
I just
So
got
So
this.
nobody ever had contact with these people. They made contact with who? With you?
Yeah, we're not allowed to reach out individually, but
No.
Ken did say the review committee, which we established tonight, possibly would be able to discuss more detail
On the agenda?
with them.
Yes, so so as on the agenda, it's 9B, the committee for RFP decisions, that's the review committee. So my understanding is that the review committee will look at the submission that's been received, or submissions if there are more, and then come back at a meeting in June and fill in the rest of the board members saying, this is what we've received, this is what we've reviewed. and this is what we're recommending. And then the board would make a full, decision at the June meeting on that.
But as individual board members, we're not allowed to, let's say, approach.
Correct. There's, yeah, there's a closed off period where when the board or a committee of the board is reviewing a submission in response to an RFP, there shouldn't be independent communication.
Awesome. Thank you.
But the way they contacted the secretary, there is no issues, correct?
It's my understanding that the RFP submissions were submitted in response to the RFP, right?
Yeah.
So-
Okay.
So is there a date? I'm not sure who, I apologize. I don't normally sit in on these board meetings. That we could set a date in June to have that special meeting?
Hold on, let me.
I'm not sure if they're typically held on certain days.
We
of the month.
try to do. We try to do Tuesdays now that we are in this particular arena. Huh? Yeah. If we were to go to June,
Do we still have access to the senior center for special meetings?
well, I imagine, no?
Down because of the tree that.
Okay. All right, so if just given the Tuesdays, the soonest is the 6th. We have the 13th, the 20th, and the 27th. So is everybody able to meet on the 6th?
I can do the 6th or 20th.
What's that?
We'll meet on the 20th.
I can
Not to
do,
contact this, the
Oh, we have, yeah, the other people too.
I can do 20th as well.
So is this something that we can do through email?
Certainly, this is something that can be handled outside of. the
Okay,
meeting.
all right, so let's.
Just be aware that there will be a June special meeting for the RFP purposes and also for the matter that we just heard before with. regards to
Right,
the
with the police station,
police Station
Right.
request
and maybe be able to knock, if
and
it's
possibly-
later, knock both out with one date.
Yes, certainly.
Okay. Okay, so with that, are we done with that? That subject matter? I can, okay, our next item is the proposal from the Boys and Girls Club. So any representation from them? Please come forward to the podium.
Good evening. Thank you for this opportunity to present. I'm Diane Carbray. I'm the president of the Boys and Girls Club. And this is Ruby, our unit director for the Selma Club. We appreciate the opportunity to apply for the micro grant. So we have submitted an RFP for the $5,000. And this is basically to provide supplies for doing nutrition, teaching youth about good nutrition and involving them in active recreation at the club. We continue to provide meals and food to Selma families. We have been located at the Salazar Center, and now we're moving. Then we moved to the Selma Community Center, to the community center, and the tree fell on it. And then we are now moving into the Weed and Seed. So we're still operating and still serving kids.
At the Eric White area.
The little trailer that.
For
Yeah.
now, temporary.
What happened to the Salazar Center?
It's under construction.
Oh, okay, all
Yeah,
right.
there was lots of small problems with it and it wasn't, we weren't able to operate in there anymore.
Who's taking care of those
I believe
issues?
the city Parks and Rec is taking care of that.
Amy's flagging us down back there.
Amy's taking care of it. So we've been serving kids ages 6 to 18 ever since we opened the club in 2016. And it serves the kids that need us most in that neighborhood. And we want to continue doing that. And this $5,000 will help us do the supplies and do some cooking. And it's really good because it helps the kids build confidence and self-esteem and furthers the relationship with the staff. So that is our request, and I wanted to have Ruby say a few words.
Again, my name is Ruby Torres. I am the unit director for the Selma Boys and Girls Club. Thank you for letting us be here tonight. I brought with me the Bethel family. They do attend. Well, mom doesn't attend, but the kids attend. And Liam over here is our junior pool champ. That's one of the, we get to teach the kids how to play pool. And they of course need to be responsible and behave in order to play. And Liam has been able to show a lot of leadership, and he is starting, well, when we were at the Salazar, he started beating the older kids. And so we've told the kids that it has a lot to do with math, and they didn't believe it, but they really do. We learn a lot. Also, not just with health, but with STEM, science, technology. I can't think of what E is right now. Yes, and math. And so there's a lot that goes into doing the Boys and Girls Club. It's not just a hangout, not just a babysitter's club, but there's a lot of learning that goes on with having the Boys and Girls Club. And the Bethel family, we love having them there. We love having them there, and all of them are great helpers. Jamie Ray, Cannon, they're all helpers, and mom is always stepping up to help out in any way they can. So thank you for everything.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Great program.
Do you have any questions?
So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. So do we vote on that? I make a motion to approve the grant proposal for Boys and Girls Club.
I'll second it. Oh, go ahead.
Got a second? Take a vote. Yes.
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 Yes. Yes,
Thank you for coming.
yes, thank you so much for everything you guys do.
I'll get your paperwork ready. Just call me.
Okay, our next item is number E, grant proposal for Selma Swim.
Thank you, guys.
Keeping that duck. They keeping it? Are you guys keeping it? I want it.
Good evening, and I'm going to echo Chief's sentiments. Normally, when we come here, we say good evening, Mayor and council members. So it is different to be speaking to a different board. But thank you guys for allowing me a moment to talk. I don't really need the microphone, so I'm going to step way back so it doesn't echo. But my name is Amy Smart, and I am the new Community Services Director here for the City of Selma. And as the boys and girls did touch on briefly, the Salazar Center is currently under repair. There were several issues within the building, in addition to some holes in the roof. So that went down. We moved them to the senior center, and then a tree fell. And unfortunately, the tree did cause significant damage to our senior center. So that is going to be out and offline for quite some time until those repairs can be made. So we are doing the best that we can, and the weed and seed was the only option we kind of have left. So if we have another roof issue, I may just curl up into a ball and cry for a few minutes, and then we'll move on. So again, thank you guys for giving me the opportunity to be here. I do apologize. This is a new program for me, as I am new. Michael Kirchner was here for about 26 years. So he did a phenomenal job. And I know that he worked with you guys in the past to have swim opportunities for our community. As you know, it's incredibly hot here during the summer, and these opportunities open up the high school on the weekends for our families, adults and children to come and swim at the high school pool. It also allows an opportunity for swim classes into the Unfortunately for those, they do have to travel to Fowler for that because we cannot accommodate them here locally. So apparently, from what I was told, the program wasn't as popular last year. However, we are trying to continue to work with ways that we can improve that program into the future. So the request before you today is for $5,000 to help assist with the cost of that. That does bring in an outside agency to come in, certified lifeguards, all of the appropriate insurances, certifications, et cetera, to be able to run that program. And again, it runs during the summer months. It runs from June to August, I believe. And there is an entrance fee. So that is one of the things that we have been asked. There is an entrance fee of $2 per person. So it doesn't completely cover the cost. But that does ensure that the partner agency also recoups some of their money as well. So I'm open to answer any questions to the best of my ability. But again, thank you for giving us the opportunity to be here. And I look forward to partnering with you guys into the future.
I do have a question.
Yes.
I'm sorry, you have a question? Did you receive Measure K money?
I will be fully honest, we are going through our first budget season right now. So I am currently reviewing all of our budget documents and I do not have the exact dollar amounts. However, Measure K was something that was brought to my attention by another commissioner of another board, and we are currently putting those numbers together.
Okay, so you did receive monies from Measure K.
I receive monies currently from the general fund is what I am being told. I am currently reviewing all of the breakdowns.
Okay, so
But yes.
why isn't the city paying for this?
The city, okay, so this was, from my understanding, again, being new, this is a program that the city could absolutely fund if we funded it somewhere else, absolutely. What I was told is this was a partnership between the health board and the city, so that we could make more programs happen into the future.
I think the Measure K money is taxpayer money for stuff like this. And
Yes.
the city should be sending it to you guys, and the city should
Yes.
be responsible for these costs.
I agree. We have many programs within our community services department. So I think this was just another way to do more programs within our community. And it met the needs of both organizations, the health board and the city, to be able to partner for this. But yes, we have programs that go all year long. We're actually in the process of bringing even more programs on. From my understanding, again, having not been a part of previous discussions, this was just an opportunity for the two organizations to partner their resources to make another program happen within our community.
You know, we talked on the phone, and if there was a ability to get the Measure K money to cover the gate costs because of the endangerment of ditches, canals, not being able to go to the river, you know, all these water areas that are not going to be off limits this summer, maybe we can approach them to take the gate money and cover both costs. It's free to the kids and the public.
Yeah, and I will absolutely say in the first 6 months that I've been here, we are going through every single program that we do, and we're getting the who, what, when, where, and why of it. Just because it's been done in the past doesn't mean it should be done into the future. I'm a firm believer in all of that. So
Yeah.
You're absolutely right. I've been meeting with different organizations, different partners, different stakeholders to find out these relationships and why they were the way that they were, because I don't have that information, obviously. So I can say personally that this is all the feedback that we are wanting, that we are trying to gather so that we can make those decisions into the future. Again, it's hard for me to say what was decided in the past. Again, Measure K money, what's being spent exactly. We are going through all of those processes now. So when I stand before you at the next request, because I'm sure I'll come back because, you know, who doesn't want to do more for their community? I'll have better answers for you, more in line with that. But it does take some time for me to get all of that information so that we can continue that into the future for sure.
I have a comment. Go.
So just really quick, Amy, it's $2 per person at any age?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, we've always funded the swim care, but on here, is it American Swim or who is?
Yes, from what I was told, it is America Swim.
American Swim?
It's still the same company that we have utilized in the past. Yes.
I was just gonna say in the past, my second term, we've been a proud supporter, sponsor, partner with the city on this for the kids. And I think this year, especially with the water levels the way they are, it's even going to be more crucial that we continue this. But I totally agree with Rosemary, that the Measure K money is, if it's there and it can be used for this going forward, I would
Yes.
hope that that would be the case.
Yes,
But
so
I didn't-
if you guys listened in on the last council meeting, this past, last week, I gave an entire presentation on the state of the department. And in that, I outlined the R&D that we're going through right now, which is the research and development, so that we can make those decisions. And then I outlined our plans moving forward, which is including our partners and our stakeholders in how we're making decisions moving forward. So you're absolutely right. I agree that our city should be funding more programs. If you talk to anybody, we are. I'm asking for more from our council. They've already seen that presentation where I'm asking for more money for more programs. But at this time, again, I'm being very strategic. Well, if I know this is a partnership that works right now, let's get this done. Let's ensure this happens next year. And then let's build that into our programs into the future. Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And yeah, especially with the water levels the way they are with snow runoff.
I agree. And that's one of the reasons, again, we are here today to continue that partnership until we can figure out how we're going to do that into the future. One of the things that I talked about in my presentation last week was the fact that we have to also, as a city, start to look at our cost recovery and how my department is being self-sufficient and how we're running our programs and fiscally being responsible in everything that we do. So again, I don't disagree. I love these conversations. It's important to me to get out there and hear that sort of feedback. Measure K was brought to my attention, like I said, about a month ago, in regards to some questions from a citizen, and we're doing that research and we're ensuring that we are being that responsible party. But again, and I hate to say that, but I'm still new and we're building the programs as we go. So
Amy,
yes.
is there a way to estimate, or do you have any figures on how many people at $2 a head in the calendar year of 2022?
Yes, so I do not have those numbers on me, but I can provide you with those. We did request that. I just haven't received them yet.
I'm leaning towards covering it because of the issues with, I don't want kids going in the river. I don't want them
Yeah.
going in the canals. So maybe we can pay that also for this calendar year until we.
Yeah, looking at the total requested, can we possibly take a vote on that? Not our limit, but.
Yeah, that's fine. Well, we need a motion.
Normally it's normally what we issue out is the
Correct.
7,700.
Correct, yes.
So
That's normally what we pay,
Okay.
and that does.
So you guys are gonna go above the 5,000?
with the safety of the kids, I would go that way this time.
Well, I
And-
think
until
city
we look
council
at-
should be thinking about the safety of the kids also
Well,
by giving you the Measure K money.
And I agree with you.
Right.
Yes.
I agree with you, but
We all-
I
in
know,
this,
but under the
in this
circumstances and everything that's
situation,
happening with all the
until-
flooding, we
until
need to
she-
just be more
yeah.
vigilant of our
sorry, we're
children.
talking over everybody.
Are so
Until you get your
My sea legs?
sea legs, yes,
Yes.
I
I
think
appreciate that.
that's what I was leaning towards
Yes.
also.
Yes.
I believe that Measure K and whatever in the future.
Right.
But for right now,
Right.
for the safety of the kids, I think it should be,
Yes.
give it to them.
And we do, like I said, the general fund is supported through through many measures and different things like that. Obviously, we know we have the enterprise funds and the different things that happen. So I just can't give you the exact dollar amount.
No,
today,
that's
but
fine.
that's what I'm working with. And then I would also like to add that I have absolutely, I would be honored to be able to come back at the end of the season and talk about the actual SWOT analysis of the event, because that's the other thing that we're doing within my department is every program, every event now has a SWOT analysis that we will be going over the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. What was the cost per person? Those in-depth datas that will help us make better decisions into the future.
Mm.
I am not, I tell everybody I was professionally raised by the Department of Defense. I cannot make decisions on, I think, or last year, or these are not the way that we should be making our decisions. So this year for me is about creating those data points that gives us the exact dollar amounts of all of the programs down to the per person cost, so that next year we can make those decisions more fiscally responsibly. And I can say, these are the facts, not I think, or before we did it like this. So I would, like I said, I would be honored to be able to come back at the end of that and share that with the board and say, these are the things that we did. These are exact numbers. This is everything. And then how can we make it better next year? Because this
Perfect.
really is an infinite game. This isn't just a
Right.
one and done. This is constant.
Okay,
700.
so here's what I think I would like to see. I would like to see a motion for this to prove this, but with the addition of adding from the 5,000. Well, I'll just make the motion myself. I move that we accept this and move it to grant a total of $7,700 in lieu of the $5,000 mini grants that we have for the safety of the kids.
I second.
Well, what if, okay, well, I just have an idea, it's a
Go
good,
for it.
it's either way, it's still gonna. Since you say it's $2 per person, a kid, what if we put 1,000 towards like 500 kids get in for free? And then give her the remaining money? You know, like the first 500 kids that come, they get in free. They don't have to pay
Well,
until they figure out.
So I love where you're going with that and thank you for, that is amazing. If you guys are going to have another meeting at the beginning of June, before this program takes off, we can approve the total amount so that I know that the program is secure. And then I can come back at the special meeting, if that is the board's direction, to give you some more numbers about how many children attended last year. And then we can discuss that so that you guys are making the best decisions for your board
I
as
think
well.
that's doable. Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
So in other words, we'll leave the motion as it is, that we're going to grant this for the 7,700.
Thank
I
you.
need a
And then,
second.
like I said, that will secure the program and then I can come back for an additional
Second.
ask
Okay,
later.
so
You have to make a vote. I mean, do you?
we'll
have to-
vote, yeah.
I second it.
I'll get your paperwork ready and get.
All right. Cheers.
Yes.
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 Yes. No.
Okay. Our last action item is hiring of an auditing firm. We have been, let me see what I did with that. We have a couple options as suggestions. Did you give everyone copies of that? Is that something we should move to the June meeting?
Yeah, so I would recommend, if you want to, maybe for the board's education, you can explain the situation, but it's my understanding that this has happened somewhat recently.
Yeah,
And
very
so now the
recent.
board is in the position of having to find a new auditor to
Correct.
complete the 2022 audit. And so, I also understand that there are some potential firms that have been identified, but in order to give the chair a chance to review those, and considering there's already going to be a special meeting for June, it might be best if you want to review those and come back with
think
a
so.
recommendation to the full board. And that would be a third item for the June meeting. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, so what's going on with the auditors?
Well, Debbie basically was in contact with Price and Page. And I guess the easiest way to say it, they kind of dropped us like a hot potato. And sorry. But anyway, so I think this was last week, right? Yeah. So anyway, we're trying to find somebody else to take the place. And tonight I got two names, so it's kind of like we're right on the edge of this
Okay.
thing. So let us review it. And I think this is the best thing is to have it on that special June meeting and try to knock all three things out.
Okay,
The swim, the police monument, the snack bar and the auditing firm.
Did we get a letter from them explaining why? What's the situation?
Got an email. I can share it with you if you want.
All the board members. So.
So
they
should
did
we
not
send
complete-
that?
They didn't complete the 22?
No,
Do we have a
We-
completed
well,
21?
see, I see where she's
What is that?
going.
Wait, what do you
Because
mean?
we've
Now
been
you gave me
paying-
A bill that said is it complete.
21.
Okay, can we get 2021 on the website, Joey? 2020 is the last one.
What? What do you want?
The 2021 financials aren't on our website yet.
Okay,
2020s are. Can
Yeah,
you forward
all
those?
the financial reports.
No, from Price Page.
So in other words, what we need
You
to
want all
do,
the invoices from Price Page? That's. what you
No,
want?
their financial report.
Yeah, the final audit. for
The final audit.
you
2021.
paid for
Okay.
the final for
Well,
2020.
They'll have to send that to us. They even, they even do. I don't have it. I don't have that. I just have,
You just have
bills.
the
I
billing.
just have invoices that
Okay, all
pay
right.
this, pay
So
that.
that's
We
gonna,
just, yeah, we
Fifty-
just
that's,
need to,
that's
I'm
gonna
pretty
be
sure
with
it's like
Debbie.
$50-some thousand later.
we just need to have it posted.
So that again would be for preparation for to be announced June special meeting.
Yeah, it's the June meeting. they'll make it.
And we'll have all those figures and go over that too.
No, I should have, I didn't catch this earlier, but I looked at the bylaws. We might need to go back to 9A and get a motion and a second and a vote. I know that it's the direction is to add Debbie as the signer, but I looked at the bylaws and it does say that it needs to be a motion.
Okay.
And so, sorry.
Okay, no. Let's see, you caught it in the right time.
Yeah.
Okay, so we finish up with F,
Mhm.
and that's going to go to June special meeting. Okay, so let's go back to 9A. I need a motion.
I make a motion.
I'll second it.
Second, okay, and now we'll just do the vote. Thank you, Craig. Yes,
Yes.
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 and of course, we have 10 is our next meetings schedule. We have August 1st, 2023 at 6. And then to be announced, the June special meeting, which we'll try to coordinate between the 5 of us and through emails. And again, number 10.5. Thank you, Amy and Joey. This is wonderful that we finally have made it to this podium or dais, I should say, and had a great meeting. So with that, number 11 is adjournment.
Can I have a second?
Oh, sure. Oh,
I was asked to come back on behalf of Chief Alcaraz. I guess the question was asked if we had AEDs. He never sees them. We do have 3. We have one assigned to our dispatch, one assigned to night shift, and one assigned to day shift. Each officer actually does get trained now through the police academy, and then also our every 2 years perishable skills training we have to take. So he wanted me to come back to let you know that we do have some. So
Great, thank you.
Or is that enough?
me personally, because I always think it's a need. Because I'm one of the ones who do go to a lot of our medical calls because we are those first responders. We're trained in it. We should. There are some that we don't go to, but I believe it is a need. I've used it within the last year, maybe 3 to 4 times myself within the last couple of years. And we've had them for maybe 4 years. So, yeah. It would be nice, but they are a machine that's pricey, but it's also a maintenance thing because I became in charge of them, so I have to check every so often, make sure the battery's operational. And they're really just a one-time use before we change out the battery. The battery says you could use it more than once, but on recommendation of our fire, they're one use, so you make sure you have that full charge. So, all right,
I appreciate it.
thank you.
thank you very much.
Appreciate it.
And with that, I adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Would I have to make a motion?
Debbie, I just need you to sign this really quick.